My name is Diane Benson, and we are here today with Learning with the Library, kindergarten through 12th grade, LLK12. And of course, we are, despite the heat, it's almost time for school to start again. So in today's presentation, we're just going to talk a little bit in general about the resources that are available here at the library that you as a teacher, a homeschooling parent, or a parent who wants to extend the education of your child, what we've got here that you can use to your advantage. So come on with us. I've got a bright idea. Let's learn more about the resources available in the children's department at the library. So I just want to point out here that we do have a homeschool and teachers resource section here in the children's portion of the library. So I'll show you how to actually find books. Obviously, tons of books on all different topics. You can take a deep dive in anything that your student is interested in here in the children's section. But we also have resources for you as the teacher. So we have different magazines, Homeschooling Today, Book Links magazines. We have the encyclopedias. This is something really cool too. We have book sets available for book clubs. So if you want to check out a set of books, usually there is about 8 books available, 8 to 10, depending on what title that you use. And then you can use that to do a book study with some of the students. You can even talk to the children's department about using the teen room to meet as a group to maybe discuss some of these books that you're reading as a group. So another great resource here. If you need some ideas on how to get a book discussion going with your students, once again, we've got librarians here and they will be so glad to help you with that. So let's move on down here. And these are some other teacher resources that I just want to point out here. This is a good one, 101 top picks for homeschool curriculum. I reviewed this almost every year when I was picking curriculum for my son. Teachers information for how to teach reading. There's a series of books for younger math down here, also grammar, etc. So the other one that's just kind of fun is this Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. That is actually what I used with my son when he learned to read. And after we finished this book, the first place we came was to hear the Blount County Public Library to get some other books for him to continue on his reading journey. And I'll tell you what, today he is still an avid reader and loves the library. So while you're here, you're getting ideas, you're thinking about what you're doing. Maybe if you're a homeschool parent, you don't have a ton of money to pay for a pre-set up curriculum, you can create your own using the resources that are available to you here at the Blount County Library. Not just these books, but also the professionals who work here. Right idea. Let's see what's available in the young adult section here at the library. So I just do want to point out that if you are looking up a book and the call letter says YA, that means that it is in the young adult section at the library. And so that's kind of in behind the adult fiction section, back near the windows that kind of head out to the river here. So lots of good books in this section as well. There is young adult fiction as well as nonfiction. So come get some great ideas, enjoy reading, and pick a book. Another bright idea is if you're looking for books about a certain person, go ahead and come to the biography section in the library. Now, when you're looking up a book in the card catalog, if it says a B in front of the name, that means that it's a biography. And the biography is a separate section in the library, so you'll want to go to the section where we have the signs that say biography, and you'll be able to find all sorts of detailed information on interesting people. Another bright idea is that you don't have to just learn from books, obviously. And the teen room is a good place where you can find other ways to learn and discuss ideas. We have games in here. We have times where we'll show movies that are the same as a book, so then the students can actually discuss the differences, what they like better, etc. So hands-on, games, discussions, even just kind of having a time to decompress a little bit, because learning does not always look like sitting at a desk holding a pencil. Lots of times learning can happen in so many different areas and places that we don't even necessarily think of. So make sure that when you're looking at things available at the library, that you're also looking at the activities that are available to your students in the teen room. I've got a bright idea. Let's look at the digital resources that are available at the library. All right, so we're going to start here at the homepage for the library. And the first thing that I just want to kind of show to make sure everybody is very familiar with how to get to the important and useful information here is we're going to go to the card catalog. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And just point out a couple things. If you've been with us in the past, you might already be familiar with some of this, but just want to point this out. The first thing is over here on the far upper left side, there's these three lines. If you click those and go to lists, you will come to our page of lists of different categories of books. So Agatha Christie award winner books. We've got astronomy, bird watching, nonfiction books about books. But some other ones that are particularly interesting would be the Caldecott winners and let's see, and the Newbery Award winners. But even for other topics like personal finance, those are on here too. So that is a good resource. It's a list of books to kind of get you started on a topic. But of course, with the card catalog, that you can look up any topic that you're interested in. So let's say that I am interested in learning more about animals. And let's say I'm going to pull up first this one, Eric Carle's Animals. So the first thing that I want to just kind of note so that everybody's aware is this call number has a J in front of it. And if it has a J in front of it, it's going to be in the children's department. Okay, so just something to kind of save you some time when you're looking for these books. Sometimes I see people wandering in different areas. If it has a YA in front of it, it's in the young adult section in the library as well. So again, that'll kind of help you get to the right place quicker. All right, so here we are back at the main page, and just some things I want to point out. First of all, there's a great bit of information and ideas here at the library. If you're a homeschooling parent, or if you're a parent who wants to extend the education of your child, or even a teacher, there's lots of stuff up here that can give you an idea, especially if you think you might want to build something around a topic that the child is interested in. You might want to do some sort of unit study. So let's look at some of the things that are available here. Let me go ahead and click the children's button here, and you can see that we have quite a few different programs that are available for the children. We have different events coming up. You can take a look at those. Come September, we'll start having more of those again. They're kind of on a little bit of a hiatus during August, but you can get some very good things that you can use to build on. Artsy Fridays, a good introduction to art. Maybe then you want to move to reading books about art, maybe writing or copying sentences about art, etc. We're going to look at educational resources. The first is an AR book finder, and that is going to help you find accelerated reader books for your student, which is sometimes such a good resource because when you're like, what can they read? How many points is it? How do I prep them to take the test on it? We've got those resources for you here. Another one that is as good as bedtime math, because that's exactly what every kid wants to do before they go to bed. But sometimes it's just making it a part of life, and it's not like we're doing school, now we're done with school. It is instilling in the student the idea that learning is part of life. And so talking a little bit about this at bedtime can be very, very beneficial. So lots of things here when you look at these educational resources, ebooks, Girls Who Code at Home, information on the imaginary imagination library, etc. So lots of good information here and links that you can use to help further your child's education. So now let's go ahead and click on up here at the top again, the Teens resource area. And again, we've got clubs, we've got different events that are coming up. Over on the left here, I'm going to click on resources for the teens. All right, and you can see Ben's Guide to the U.S. Government. There's a lot of really good college preparation stuff. Many times I have someone come here and they will want help with the driving test that their student has to take. So we do have a link where you can have your student practice taking those tests, which is sometimes that's the hardest part of the driving test, is the actual written part. Ebooks, high school resources, middle school resources, teens health. All of these are great links that can get you, diving in with your student for the academic year. Let me go ahead and pull up here just real quick the college prep. And if you have been watching during the summer, we did a video on career exploration. In that, I talked a lot about kind of doing aptitude surveys and finding out like what you might be interested in and exploring what different careers make. But Peterson Test and Career Prep is so much more than that. They also have improving your test scores. Now, this is really cool. So if you click on that and scroll down, there is a college prep section. So if your child needs to practice some ACT, they've got that in here. And it's going to tell you what they got wrong and what the right answer is. So it's a great resource. CLEP, for students who think they might want to CLEP out of some classes in high school. Those are really good resources that are free to you as a resident of Tennessee. In high school, other ones that are really cool, and I think this one particularly, the advanced placement. So maybe your student is in school and taking an AP class and hopefully ultimately going to take an AP test for that. So this is another place where you can practice those tests and hopefully improve their scores. And for homeschoolers, this might be a way to kind of, if you think your child's really advanced and they've been studying a lot in an area, you might want to see where they stand relative to the AP test. So again, I just wanted to point that out with the Peterson Test and Career Prep, because there's so much there for your students. Going back to the resource page, we'll get back to teens and resources. And not only do we have resources for high school, we have resources for middle school students as well. Some that I think are kind of interesting is this opposing viewpoints in context. So this is really fun because it helps the student learn there are two sides to most issues. As someone who was on the debate team in high school, one of the best things I ever did was argue the other side, the side against what I was for. That kind of sounds cumbersome, but it helped me then argue better against that side when actually in the debates. So I don't think that we necessarily have to be afraid of learning what the other side thinks. Sometimes that makes us stronger in understanding where our views are, but also kind of looking at why people come from the other side. So this opposing viewpoints, I think, is really fun. And, some of them are interesting, like year-round school, kind of pro or con. What do we think about that? What are some of the unintended consequences that you may not have thought about? Those are good places to dig into. So middle school, again, a lot of that is going to be very, very similar. We've got a classic bookshelf too. If you want to look into some classic literature, let's see, Louisa May Alcott, learn a little about her and some of her books, Little Women, one of my favorites when I was growing up. You can listen to that and read that here also. All right, let's go ahead, and again, I'm going to come back here to the main page, and we're going to go to Learning, and under eLibrary, I'm coming down here to TN Electronic Library, TEL, as we call it for short. So let me go ahead and click into that. And again, if you've been with us through the summer, you've seen some of this, but today I'm going to take a deeper look into some of the areas that are specifically beneficial for teachers and parents. So there's a lot on this site, and there's a lot of information that you can use just to get started. So one of the things that you can do is look right down here in the lower right-hand corner. And again, I just clicked on it. This is the first page that comes up. Scroll down, and this is a video on what is the Tennessee Electronic Library. So you, as the educator, as the parent, will have a better grasp of what's available and how to use it and how to share that with your student. So highly recommend that you kind of poke around, look at some of the videos that are available here in the Tennessee Electronic Library. And then if we scroll even further down to the bottom, you're going to see this section here that says educators. Okay, so we're going to look a little bit at that. So let's go ahead and look at student activities. So I'm going to click on that. And then we're going to click on Gale Web Scavenger Hunts. Click on Use This Resource. And then you're going to have a variety of activities here that you can use with students. Let me go ahead and click on this. Alternative energy, tic-tac-toe. Great resources that you can print out. You don't have to create your own worksheets for a lot of these. Alternative energy trading cards. Annotate text with highlights and notes, how that works, etc. So tons of good information in this activity section. Then if we kind of get back there, you can also see that there's lesson plans, and there is also professional development materials. And I know that some teachers, I don't know if this would count for you, I know for some homeschool parents, they also are required to do some sort of education. So this is for the teachers to kind of learn more about these resources and how they can use them in the classroom. So the big thing that I wanted to do here is to really show you that there is this whole section for educators. Down here at the very bottom of the page, where most people wouldn't notice, are lots of things as an educator that you can click in and learn about. A lot of the classes and the worksheets and lesson plans also have to do with writing. So if you need some help teaching your students how to write a topic sentence, again, the worksheets, the directions for the teacher, the answer key, they're all going to be here in the Tennessee Electronic Library for you. So as you can see, you can search by the students' level, elementary, middle school, high school, college. And as you get in there, you can dig in and look at different ideas. You can pull up activities for the child. We've done a few of those over the past few months, but again, just want to re-emphasize, this is going to save you so much time. It'll take a little bit at the very beginning just to kind of get used to navigating around. But once you get used to doing that, there's a ton of information in here to make life easier for you. And that is what it is all about. All right, so we're going to move away from the Tennessee Electronic Library, come back to the main page for the actual Blount County Public Library. I'm going to go to Learning, and I'm going to go to Universal Class Courses. All right, I'm going to click on that. I'm not going to sign up right now. I'm just going to kind of browse. So if you click on Browse Courses, one that I want to mention again is they actually have a class in here on developing unit studies. And unit studies are a way to take a topic that your child might be interested in and build a whole curriculum around it, like the reading, and they would do some spelling from that. Maybe you have them copy a sentence and they talk about the grammar used. You use some science and history, and you kind of build it all around a topic that the child is interested in. And I think this is a really cool way to learn, because in life, our subjects are not in little segments. So just because you're asked to do math, for example, in a history class, you can't say, oh, I'm sorry, you want to know how many years that is? That requires math, and this is history, not math. In life, all these subjects go together, and a unit study really takes advantage of that. And sometimes, especially for students who maybe have one subject that they really don't like, this is a way to kind of hook them in with a topic that they're very interested in. So anyway, again, for parents, teachers, etc., there is this class, 11 lessons, etc., 4 hours average time on how to create unit studies and how they work. Other ones that are just kind of fun is the fact that you can just search around. ABCs for English grammar, maybe you want to use some of that with your student. And then at the end of that, it's going to give you related courses as well that you might want to consider. All the way down here, writing women's fiction, basic research skills, speed writing. There is all sorts of classes in here. Now, these might not be appropriate to put an elementary student on. Maybe an advanced middle schooler and maybe a high school student could get in and do some of these on their own, but they're also good for parents and teachers just to get an idea of how can I present this information to my students. So universal classes, great information there, lots of fun. All right. And we have Hoopla and Kanopy that are have lots of good videos, ebooks, etc. that you can find on really all sorts of different topics. The caution I give here is the caution I give every time. Just be mindful of what you're assigning, because these aren't all necessarily kid-friendly. You know, look at what is your family values and where your sensitivities are as a family. However, they also have lots of good resources. One I want to show you in particular is in Kanopy. So I'm going to pull up Kanopy. Again, I'm not going to sign in. We're just going to browse movies. Okay, so we're going to click on browse movies there. And you can search for the different movies that you want. So you can search topics. So let's say that you want to look at, you're having some trouble either teaching your child, teaching a class, you want some different ideas. You can actually search teacher development. Oops, if you can spell it, which I think I can. Teacher development, and get some good ideas on different theories about how children grow, different stages they go through, grammar, teaching children, the Socratic questioning in education. All of these are different videos that you could watch to help you in that area. Another topic, maybe you would like to try succeeding as a teacher. And again, you've got some other videos that will come up for that also. Instruction, surviving your first year, all of that is going to be in here. So, and those are just two examples. You can look up anything. You can look up specific topics for your students, or you can look up topics for you as the educator to give you some ideas about how to present this to your students. So again, lots of just cool information at your fingertips here through the Blount County Public Library website. And I just encourage you to take advantage of them. If you run into any problems or you have questions, please reach out to us here at the library. We are part of this community. We are here to service this community, and we're here to help. So when I was bringing my young son here to the Blount County Library, one of the things I like to do as a parent who likes to mess with their child is as we would get to the automatic doors, I would hold out my hand and say, Mama Magic. So for the longest time, he thought I had the ability to open doors for him. And I think that's really kind of poetic in a way, because isn't that what we're doing at the library? When we show our children these doors and we open these doors, we're opening doors to all sorts of possibilities. And it is a type of magical realm once you get inside, where with the books and your imagination, you can just go anywhere. I hope you've enjoyed today's presentation from LLK12, and I hope that you'll join us in the future as we have more of these videos coming up. But for now, I just hope that with today's video, you found something out that you can sink your teeth into. That's good. Another bright idea